I wanted to jump in today and talk about something that came up in a conversation I just had with one of my coaches and mentors, Elizabeth Purvis, that really got me thinking about the real reasons we get stuck. The real reasons we get stuck encountering the same challenges, the real reasons we get stuck in the situations where the pattern seems to keep showing up over and over and over again, no matter how often we've worked on it and how long it's been, and it just keeps showing up, and it's dang frustrating, isn't it? How many of you can relate to that? You can say yes in the comments. Maybe there's a situation right now that you're thinking about where like, oh my gosh, I feel so stuck or frustrated, or this challenge keeps popping up in my life. Why? Why me? Why does it keep happening? I don't understand. So I wanted to jump in and give you some insights and ahas that I've gotten myself about the real reasons we get stuck, the real reasons that patterns keep showing up again and again, and what you can do about it, how you can figure it out, what you can do about it to get yourself unstuck and moving forward or quickly through a painful time or a challenging experience if that's where you're at right now. So that's what I have in store for you. If you're here, watching live, welcome. Please pop in the comments, say hello. And if you have any questions as we go along, absolutely pop in your questions and comments, or do it anyway on the replay and I'll come back and I'll answer them personally. So if you don't know who I am Christine Parma, and I'm an intuitive business success and life transformation coach. And my passion and what I love helping people do is really along these lines. It's busting through your blocks, your beliefs, and your patterns that are keeping you stuck or earning less money than you have, or keeping you stuck in patterns in your business that are preventing you from receiving income, or it can look like I don't know what to offer. So there's lots of different ways that I help people, but it all has to do with really creating real authentic success in your life and doing it in a way that feels good. So you can always find out more about me at christineparma.com or ping me on this page or Facebook Messenger. So let's dive in. So let me give you a little bit of background here. I have been into the whole personal development world for well over 20 years. And, I'm a certified NLP practitioner. I'm just at the very end of a year-long certification course with Elizabeth on accessing the Akashic records, which are your soul records, and reading those for other people, and really doing a lot of shift work, a lot of transformation, energy alignment, repatterning of your beliefs inside the Akashic records. And I am thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled to be, completing that, and really thrilled at the process that's been for myself, which has a lot to do with today's topic, because when, it always seems like, for me at least, and you can tell me if you can relate to this, that when you're feeling, when I've been feeling stuck or frustrated or really unhappy with something in my life, that opportunities show up to change that, for me to work through it, or another piece shows up, and it can show up in ways that you totally don't expect. Like it can look like something totally out of left field. Can you relate to that? Has this ever happened? Maybe it's hi Steve. Maybe it's, someone mentions a book or a program or a resource or a movie. For me, most recently it was the Akashic records coming into my world. And, I really believe that you get an intuitive hit, intuition that, oh my gosh, this is going to help me with whatever the struggle or challenge or block is that I'm having. But it so often looks like something you're not expecting, that your brain can go into immediately discounting it and saying, oh, that doesn't make sense, that's not logical. So the challenge becomes when an opportunity comes up for you to that will be supportive in a way that you can't quite understand, and you moving past your stuck point, or moving through a block, or getting through a challenge or a hard time in your life, is for you to, the challenge for you is to not push it away or discount it, and to look at it and really feel into, is this really what I need? Or am I feeling like, am I using my ego mind getting in the way and saying, well, this doesn't make sense, so therefore it's not a helpful step for me. And I was in this very position when the Akashic Records, came into my field at the end of last year. And for me, it was an immediate, oh my gosh, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about learning about it. And things, started like flowing into my mind very quickly, like, yes, yes, yes. And my brain's going, but this doesn't make sense. I'm a business coach. I help people create their offers and connect with their clients and sell their high-end programs. What does Akashic Records have to do with it at all? This doesn't make any sense. But the important piece is, and this is one of really the first step to discovering what the real reason is for why you're stuck, is to say yes to those opportunities that in resources that show up that don't make any sense, right? But you feel an aligned yes, in your body. You get excited about it and you don't know why. It doesn't make sense. So that's really the first step, is being in the awareness of, wow, I'm really excited about this. I don't know why. Or this person showed up when I was like, oh my gosh, I just wish, someone would help me with this problem, or I could figure out a way. And then a book shows up, or a person shows up, or an opportunity shows up, and you're like, well, that was interesting that I showed up right after I asked for some help, asked the universe for some help, or, said I'm ready to receive help, and they showed up, but I don't see how, what the connection is. Your first step is to be in the awareness of, I asked and something showed up, or I got ready into the place of willingness to let go of this challenge that I'm having, or this stuckness that I'm having, and this person or resource showed up. Am I willing to look at this and consider that this is maybe the next right step for me? It just doesn't look like what I expected. And tell me if you relate. Say, yes in the comments, or tell me about a situation this has happened to you. It has happened to me so many times in my life, especially as I have been on this, personal growth and personal development and inquiry for the last 20 plus years, that the opportunity, the resource, the person, it is not at all what I expected. It is not at all what I expected. So you can, job opportunities that you don't expect. Tell me if you relate, and pop it in the comments, or give me a thumbs up if this is making sense to you. So circling back to my example of the Akashic Records, I feel like at least I've gotten to the place in my life where I'm aware enough of this phenomenon of, you ask for help and then it shows up in a form that you totally don't expect. Have enough awareness around that. And it's been really beneficial for me to move forward with into taking advantage of those opportunities or resources that show up in past experience, that now I know when I get the intuitive hit, like, yes, I'm excited about this, or the person or the resource showed up after I asked, that is the next step. That is the next aligned step to healing whatever needs to be healed, to busting through your blocks, to reaching your next level, to transforming the situation that you're in, to getting the new job or the promotion, whatever it is, that you say yes, right? So for me, I said, okay, yes, I totally don't know why this makes sense. It doesn't make any sense in my mind right now. But if you are at all into spirituality, metaphysics, gosh, even quantum physics, I'm sure that you have observed in other people or seen in your own life. Hi, Vern. Hi, Steve. Thanks for the thumbs up. That that as things progress and unfold, if you follow your yes, if you follow your intuition, in spite of whatever fears you may have, and that's one of the, I'll circle back to that, that's one of the sticking points that keeps you stuck, or in spite of not knowing why, and in spite of it not, despite it not making sense to you, that it's really almost like faith, that you're stepping forward in faith and belief in yourself enough that the yes or the no that you got is actually steering you towards the quote-unquote right step for you to get resolution to what you're wanting resolution with. When you do that, it works out. And it works out in ways that you never imagined. And your life may go in a totally different direction than you ever imagined, but in amazing and wonderful ways. Has this happened to you? It's happened to me so many times. And this, the Akashic Records is just really the most recent iteration of that. So when you are in a place of stuck, or you keep having a challenge come up, or you do the inner work and things don't seem to change in the way that you wanted to, like you still have the problem, the main problem, like awesome things may have happened, but you still have the main issue. Which is one of the things I was talking with Elizabeth about today, was, oh my gosh, my life is, so many different things have happened, but this one thing, what's going on here? The first step is to, answer for yourself, am I being pulled or guided, or am I getting an intuitive hit to take an action, to connect with a person, to enroll into a program? That doesn't make sense to me, and if it doesn't make sense to me, am I willing to step forward in faith and alignment with that answer that I was getting, whether it's a yes or a no, and have the clarity on that to take that step and see where it leads, right? Because one of the things you have to watch out for, and this is really, in life in general, is trying to always know everything ahead of time. Know the outcome ahead of time. That is one of the ways we keep ourselves stuck. So the way what the ego mind will do is go, well, but that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? That's not, what you've been training for the last 20 years, or it's not the job you've had. It's totally out of left field. You're not skilled. You're not qualified. You don't know enough. On and on and on. And if you let yourself get caught up in that, then you start to doubt or discount that clear, intuitive answer that you probably have gotten. And I promise you that you're getting those answers, you're getting those hits, and what often happens is you get it 1 second, and then the next second the ego mind swoops in with all of the oh my God, this isn't, safe for you to do, kind of safety patterning, and how can we talk her out of this, or him out of this sort of thing, to keep you stuck, safe and in your comfort zone and stuck in a lot of ways. So I'm curious right now for you to pop in the comments, what's something, if you want to share, something that you feel stuck around right now, or a situation you would like to get clarity on or resolution to. Pop that in the comments, because one of the pre-step is knowing what you want to change, right? If you're not really clear on where you're feeling stuck and how you want things to be different, a different outcome, a different result in your life or your business or a relationship, whatever it is, then it's hard to ask for resources that will help you move towards that outcome that you really want to have, a different reality. So pop in the comments, what's something that you would want to shift, and it could be something, you don't have to make it super personal. It could be something smaller, but someplace you're stuck. So, and while you're doing that, okay, Steve says, sorry. Okay, yeah, Steve, sure. You're welcome to keep listening. He said he can't participate right now because he's a call. Totally. Can always come back and pop in more comments on the replay too. So after you get that, going back to how we discover the real reason you're stuck. So when you get that intuitive yes, and maybe the fears or the old patterns start bubbling up and they're trying to talk you out of moving in the direction you're feeling pulled to move into, what do you do about that? Well, it's really a point of decision for you. Do I have faith in myself? Do I trust myself? And this is the point I was making, is am I willing to let go of the need to control the outcome and know the outcome ahead of time, right? Because the need to know what's going to happen and the reason why this person, resource, program, or whatever is there, supposedly leading you down this path that you're like, this doesn't make sense to me. If you feel the need to know that, it's a control issue, right? Because what's safe? What would be really safe feeling is to know the future, right? To know what's going to happen when you start to work with that coach, or what's going to happen when that job opportunity comes up and you're like, oh, that's scary. I totally in alignment with what I want, but I don't know what's going to happen. I've been at this job for 20 years. And what if I leave? And what if? Right? What feels really safe is if you would somehow magically know every outcome that would happen, all the good things, all the bad things, quote unquote bad things that would happen if you make that change, if you say yes to that next step. And it all has to do with control, right? I mean, if you really think about it, control, because the illusion is when you feel like you're in control, even though control is really an illusion, you feel safe. And what's your mind's purpose? What's your brain's purpose? To keep you safe. Unfortunately, for people who are wanting to really, really authentically express your soul's purpose, live in alignment with your soul's purpose, express your creativity, do something more extraordinary with your life, safety is a roadblock for you. Staying in your comfort zone will not get you to the extraordinary, awesome, amazingly abundant, rich, joyful, fun life, go on and on, whatever it is you want out of life, it will not get you there. And so and this was control is, not unsurprisingly for a lot of people, a big hurdle. What of mine, that I've gotten to become aware of and start dismantling in the way I do things. So where are you trying to control things in your life? Where are you feeling, and why? Are you feeling the need to control? And there may be deeper issues beyond just safety, but in the large picture, it comes back to that. Where are you trying to control? And through needing to know the outcomes, needing to know how things are going to go, needing to know, every little detail of the journey, how are you really blocking yourself? That is one of the big blocks, is control. Now, there can be a whole lot of other reasons that you're stuck, and or you're repeating patterns that you don't like, that you don't want anymore, whether it's struggling with money or not being able to get a promotion, or attracting guys or gals that aren't, seem great, and then they're not the relationship that you really wanted or hoped for, whatever the pattern is. If something keeps showing up, the reason it keeps showing up and you're being faced with the truth of the situation, the truth of what you don't want, is because it's showing you an opportunity for some part that needs healing, or an internal shift that needs to happen in order for you to get a different result in the real world, in the outer world. Over and over in my life, this has been demonstrated that until you change the inner pattern, the inner belief systems, the mindsets, the energetic resonance, if you want to go there, you don't get a different outcome in the real world. But the beauty is that the circumstances that you're seeing in your life from the outside are the mirror. It's the reflection and showing you what needs to change in your internal world. And the cool thing is you have control over your inner world. Isn't that cool? I mean, think about it. You know, one of the whole safety patterns for people is to want to control things, but we're usually trying to control outside circumstances. We're trying to control other people. We're trying to control what happens in a job or how other people act or how our children act. I'm a mom. That's been a great learning experience for me. I'm still working on that one. You know, we're trying to control the outer world when really what it takes for the big shifts happen is looking inside and looking at, you know, what needs to change inside, and you have control over that. You have control over the decisions you make. You have control over the responses you have to any situation that happens, whether you're choosing to react from a place of unconscious reaction or consciously respond. You're at choice with that. Isn't that a great thing? Say yes if you agree, or give me a thumbs up. It's, you know, I think one of the biggest awarenesses that you can have is that you, first of all, that you can't control outside circumstances, right? There's so many moving parts, but you can definitely influence them by changing you, right? And how you are, how you be, how you think, how you speak, and how you act, right? That's how you interact with the physical world. So Steve says, yes, he agrees. So next step on how to discover the real reason you're stuck. You know, there's a lot of techniques you can use to start to peel back the layers of the onion and discover what the real reason is that you're stuck. The first, you know, step, as I said, is you need to become aware that you're in the stuck pattern and how you're actually thwarting your or getting in your own way of getting resolution or clearing something out, you know, getting resolution to a challenge that you may have. And that's what we were just talking about. So, you know, you get to choose then what tool, shall we say, from the toolbox you want to use to go deeper into what's the real reason you're stuck, right? Because the situation I've been in many times, and if you've been in personal development or working on yourself, inner transformation for quite some time, it can be super frustrating to feel like, I've done the work. I am doing the meditation. I'm doing the NLP change work. I'm doing, you know, all of these other things. I've done it. Why the heck is this still an issue? So, couple things. Number one, it can be a different variation of the issue, right? So you can certainly have cleared out certain and changed certain patterns, but what I've realized and what my record keepers have shared with me is it's a journey, right? It's a journey without the end. Your soul's evolution and growth is an ongoing journey. After this life, you'll have another life, you'll have more learning opportunities, and it's all about fully expressing yourself and expanding your soul in its experiences and how it's expressing itself in life, in the universe. You know, we could talk more on that on a different live stream. So I'm assuming if you're watching this, you believe you have a soul. If you don't, some of this stuff is not going to make sense to you, maybe. So that's actually a really peaceful. I think it brought me a lot of peace in realizing, you know what, this isn't a one game. You know, this isn't a one inning game, right? We have lots of innings to play in our game of our soul being alive and expressing itself. So this is just one of them. So it makes sense that as you evolve, as your soul grows, as you have different experiences, there will be different layers. There will be different variations of an issue that may show up or hang around that is giving you another step, another piece in your journey of learning and growth as a soul. So if you change your perspective from, I got to fix this and it has to be done now and it should never ever come up again, to, okay, so this is shown up again for me, or this is hanging around longer than I wanted, or it's changed and, you know, I thought I was done with it, but here it is again. If you change your perspective to, okay, this is something else in me, a piece of, a belief, a mindset, maybe a piece of learning that my soul really needs to continue its growth, then it changes the energy around how you approach the change work in general. So then it becomes, what tool are you going to use? What's your method? It could be meditation. It could be neurolinguistic programming change work. It could be Reiki. It could be hypnotherapy. It could be transpersonal, past life regression. I've used all of them myself. It could be diving into your Akashic records. And I'll be really honest here. I realized after, I moved past the whole, I don't know why I'm excited about, knowing more about the Akashic records, and then stepping into a year-long certification program going, I don't really know what this is for. I don't think I'll ever do it for anybody else. And having that whole thing change, the Akashic records has been an immensely valuable and transformational and powerful tool for quickly shifting and healing things in myself, and based on the testimonials that I've gotten and things I've heard back from people I've done readings for, it's been the same for them. So it could be, diving into your soul records and going, WTF. Keep saying it a different way. There's a more powerful way to phrase it, but essentially WTF. Why is this problem still hanging around? What is the real reason that I'm stuck here? And the whole conversation that precipitated this live stream was, and why I felt it was important to talk about is because Elizabeth was in my Akashic records reading for me, and the reason she gave, in this insight she gave on this piece that I've been stuck with, still feel stuck on, was totally unexpected, totally out of left field. And this goes right along with your solutions and breakthroughs will come in ways most of the time that you never suspect and that you don't expect. So when you get one of those insights, when you use whatever tool it is you're using, or you work with somebody that helps you with it, and they give you, this is what is coming up, or something comes up for you, this is the reason, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I don't see the connection in that. Please give yourself the space and the permission to sit with it. And instead of saying, well, that doesn't make any sense, and rejecting it, think, okay, well, that's interesting. Where's the truth in that? What is the learning in that for me? And leave yourself open to even more awareness coming in around the situation. And to long story short, with this session I just had with Elizabeth, at the end of about 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, now I get it, right? So it went from this doesn't seem to make any sense or have anything to do with this problem that I'm trying to clear out, and oh, now it makes sense, right? That is how powerful for me and other people that going into your Akashic records can be, because you can get that kind of clarity really fast. And at the same time, I want to encourage you that if you go in whatever tool you're using, you get an answer that doesn't make sense. Like, what's the real reason that I'm stuck or I can't move forward? I'm having this challenge. You get an answer that doesn't make sense, and you still don't have, it still doesn't make sense to you at the end of whatever you're doing. Leave yourself open to receiving new awarenesses. And one of the techniques you can use is by asking questions, asking your mind questions. I want, how is it that such and such could be the reason that I'm stuck, or that I'm having the money troubles, or I can't find a job that I love, or I'm having problems with my boss, whatever it is. What is the awareness or the insight that would be really useful for me to have around this situation? Another question. So when you ask your mind questions, your mind goes out looking for answers, right? So it's kind of like you're tricking your ego mind into working for you instead of against you. Is this making sense? And let me take a quick peek at the comments. Bernadette says, I just realized that now we're trying hard to control things which cannot be controlled, but on the inside our own perspective is on the negative side. Yeah, that's a huge awareness to have, right? Is because whatever you're focusing on, the negative part or positive part of something, saying, I don't want this, not this, I'm railing against this, I'm angry about that, you're energizing that situation. In neuro-linguistic programming, they say, my teacher taught, and this was over 20 years ago, the not drops out. So if you say, I don't want to have money struggles, for example, the not drops out, and what's heard by your brain, your mind, and the universe, if you want bring it up to the energetic and spiritual level, is I want to have money struggles. Screwy, right? It's like, why? It doesn't make sense. There you go. It doesn't make sense. But that's how it works. And if you think it does make sense from an energetic standpoint, because you're saying, I don't want money struggles, or I don't want to have to, work with this person. You're putting energy in the form of maybe anger, resentment, frustration, but you're energizing that situation. And those energies, especially the ones that are far down the scale opposite from, the love and the peace and the, compassion and kindness, have a lot of energy. So you're pouring energy into that situation. Been there, done that. Still do it sometimes, even though I'm aware of it. Sometimes I'm actually very conscious of it, and I do it anyway because I'm so pissed off. But I'm consciously doing it. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to allow myself to feel that. And then be like, whoop, okay, got that out. Let's go back and correct the situation, right? Do some like repairing of the situation now that I put more energy into it. So, it's the real reason will bubble up, and it will often come to you in ways that don't make any sense. So, the challenge is to look at that and go, there's something here for me, especially if it really bugs you what the answer is. I can tell you that. If you're really kind of pissed off about what the answer is, and you're like, damn, I didn't want that to be the answer, or I got this awareness and that doesn't make any sense, and I'm really irritated about it, or God, that's obvious. I keep getting that intuition, or people keep telling me that, and that's really annoying that that's the answer. There you go. The real reason, right? So pay attention when this comes up. If you're tuning in right now or tuning in on the replay, you don't know who I am. I'm Christine Parma, an intuitive business success coach and life transformation coach. And I'm all about you getting to the real reason that you're stuck, if you're feeling stuck, or the way forward to this kind of success you want, and helping you clear the path to doing that so you can show up in your brilliance, in your most soul-aligned way, and be successful and have the kind of success that you want in whatever that way that looks like for you. Usually I love to throw in with joy, ease, and fun in there, because who wouldn't like to have more success or overcome their challenges with more joy, ease, and fun? I do. So that's the way I work. You can find out more about me at christineparma.com. So questions, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments, whether you're catching this live or on the replay. And of course, I love to give homework action steps. So here's your homework. The first thing is to identify a situation where you feel stuck, you feel frustrated, you're angry about, maybe you're feeling really hurt about. There could be a lot of pain there. Something you want to be different. So the first thing is deciding, what do I want to be different? Step number 2 is, If you could have it any way you want, and this is from NLP, if you could wave the magic wand and have exactly the result that you want, exactly the kind of outcome that you want, how would you want it to be? What would that look like to you? What would the people be like? How would you be feeling? What would you be seeing in your world that's different? What would you be hearing that's different? How would you feel different? So what would that look like? What's that different result that you want? Number 3, to start helping you move through to get from basically point A, where you are right now, to point B, where you want to be. What's the reason that you're still stuck in point A? So take some time with whatever method it is that resonates with you, whether it's getting quiet in meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's working with a coach, doing NLP work or hypnosis, or, working with me and doing, diving into your Akashic records, whatever it is. Ask yourself, ask your higher self, what's the real reason that I'm stuck in this? And then just listen. Or, listen to the feedback you get if you're working with somebody else. And write it down. What's the real reason here? And it may make no sense. You may not see a connection at all at the beginning, which is where I was earlier today. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I'm not getting it. Step 4, sit with it. Ask follow-up questions if you want to. You can ask, like when you're in your Akashic records, if you do that for yourself. If you get the real reason, what's the real reason? Okay, so that's the reason. Please show me or tell me, make it really clear for me what the connection is between the reason you just gave me and why I'm still stuck. Another question you can ask yourself is, what is the energy or the behavior or the pattern that needs to change or shift in order to create change in this situation I'm in, the stuck situation, for me to get unstuck, for me to stop being caught in the power struggles of this relationship, whatever it is. So what is the energy that needs to be changed, the behavior or the pattern or the mindset that needs to change? Another question you can ask, and this just popped in for me, is where is the blessing in this situation? What is the learning that my soul wants to get out of this situation? Because here's the thing, when you can get the learning, you get to move on. Woohoo! It's like, check, got that learning. Let's move on to the next life experience or the next layer of your soul's learning, right? So you want to be able to check the box. You want to be able to get the point, right? So, and if you don't get it, you repeatedly get opportunities shown to you in the real world that say, are you going to get it now? Let's give you a different way to experience this pain or struggle or challenge. Maybe you'll get it this time, Christine. I've been there, right? The universe gives you little hints, gives you easier situations, and then you don't listen, you don't get it. It gets more difficult until you finally pay attention. At least that's how it's worked for me. So hi, Jenna. So what are we on? Step number 4 of the homework. Hi, Jenna. Make sure you go back and watch the replay. I'm giving the action steps right now, the homework steps, and you'll need some context for the homework steps to make sense. So number 4, after you get the what's in it for me to get piece, like what's the real reason that I'm stuck here? What do I need to learn? What do I need to become aware of? What do I need to see? Then the question that you can ask your record keepers, your higher self, your angels, God, yourself, is, so what's the energy that I need to hold in order to shift the situation quickly? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to be coming from? The energy, what energy do I need to be coming from? How do I need to show up differently? Maybe that question. in this situation? What am I not seeing here that I need to see and become aware of in order for this situation to change? There's another one that just popped in. It's about seeing things differently, because when you can look at things differently, when you can have a different perspective, you can see things that you couldn't see before. You can see opportunities, you can get awarenesses, you can look at a person who frustrates the heck out of you, who you're angry with, who you've hated, who you can't stand, with different eyes, which leads to the ability, the opportunity for you to look with love and compassion and kindness on that person. And if you want to get really woo and spiritual, the way you look at other people is the way you look at yourself, right? They're reflecting back to you opportunities to learn. So, and to have more love, compassion, acceptance for yourself also. Kind of a different topic for another live stream also, but a very, very important one. So take those action steps. I don't want to overload you too much. There has been a whole lot in this live stream. I encourage you to go back and listen to it again and to get the deeper learnings from this, because I will tell you, I had not planned on doing this live stream. And just like we discussed at the beginning of this video about feeling the intuitive yes, feeling the pull, getting the intuitive hit to do something, and saying yes to it even if it doesn't make sense or you don't feel ready, that's what I did with this training video. I felt very compelled to get on live and talk about this, even though I basically did it 20 minutes ahead of time. And I was like, I'm just going to channel the information here, and people will hear what they need to hear, and I will share the right things with people. So it's another piece of faith in getting yourself out there, especially if you're in business for yourself, is having the faith that what you share and what you say is the quote right thing, and it will be valuable to someone. And even if you don't hear back from anybody that it was valuable, hearing yourself talk or taking that action of getting more visible will do a lot for you in your own growth and helping you clear the path to a lot, receiving a lot more of what you want. So I would love to hear what your insights were from going through this process, either listening to what I shared at the beginning and also doing the homework steps that I call it homework, the action steps that I gave at the end. I love hearing about the ahas, the insights, the breakthroughs that people have. That's what keeps me doing what I'm doing, right? So do that. I would love to hear if you have questions, comments, things come up. Absolutely feel free to come back and comment on this video. So many, many blessings today, and in your evening or your day, wherever you are. It has been a joy to share this with you. I've gotten a lot out of it for myself, just sharing it with you. And yeah, just stay in the loop. Let me know your questions and comments, and I will see you on the next one. Many blessings, and always shine brilliantly. Bye-bye.